Well, it's Monday, and welcome to the show. So, we got some things to go over here. Stupid motorist law is proposed. I like the name of this law. Stupid motorist law is proposed. We're going to go over that. We got Don Lemon on the streets telling people it's not illegal to cross the border. You can't make this stuff up. And we're going to take a look at that. Now, a side note, we got Bill Gates here. Bill Gates finally got the right answer on climate change, but not before immense harm that he has done by promoting nonsense. We got SNAP benefits and the fraud and the exposure. And we are going to look at that because I think the corruption in the SNAP system is going to go right along with the dumb motorist law. Because the dumb motorist law, I would think that's geared to dumb people who are here illegally with the CDL licenses and driving through stuff like this. Not being able to read the signs and saying, "Hey, you can't go under this underpass if your rig is too high." So we're going to look at that, which I think it ties. And then Don Lemon, left-wing libtard, of course he's on the streets talking to people, and he's got him a YouTube channel, and he's talking nonsense. So you got him talking nonsense saying it's not illegal to come in the country. You got dumb motorists who with CDL licenses, bus licenses, or just driving a regular car doing this kind of stupid stuff. And we got illegal aliens on SNAP benefits. A little side note here, though. I saw a thing that they found over 300 piles of ashes of human remains, and I guess somewhere on the outskirts of Las Vegas. And I guess they showed a shot from overhead, and I was like, what the hell? So there's a big investigation. They had a crew out there picking up the piles and putting them in buckets, and I don't know how they're going to, I guess, could you run DNA on the ashes? I do not know. But yeah, that's crazy, right? So somebody was actually putting them in the crematorium, and then what? Could people not pay, and then you just dump their ashes somewhere to get rid of them? I don't know. Inquiring minds want to know. And we also have, we've got Andrew Bronco, the Andrew Bronco Show, and he's going to talk about a tyrannical judge who is, which goes right into the SNAP and the illegal and all this stuff. So this all kind of ties. To me, it all just ties into each other. This judge is trying to tell Trump, "Oh, you got to wave a magic wand and find the money and pay these people their SNAP benefits." Yeah, this judge is telling the government what to do. And the problem is that there's separations of powers. A judge cannot tell another branch how to spend money. That's the Congress's job. And I'm not an expert, but I learned it from Bronco. I learned you can't, there's a separation of powers, which I thought was interesting. So what to do first? Let's look at the stupid criminals. Let's look at this. And we can just get started right away on this. Stupid motorist law proposed. I love this name because these people who do this, which I would love to see some stats on how many of these accidents has been happening for several years. How many of those were done by illegals and people who can't read English have been doing this? A little quick snippet getting back to goofy Bill Gates. Okay, so he reneges on, he pulls back on climate change. Well, bro, we all knew it was bullshit, right? But what about the bugs? Does he still want us to eat bugs? Does he still think that we're overpopulated and there's too many of us on the planet? I mean, little tidbit here. Rush Limbaugh, when they were saying this 25, 30 years ago. So I've been doing this for a long time, guys, for this climate change crap. Look, I'm old. So these young people have no clue. Like, they needed to go do their research. They've been spouting this nonsense for decades. 4 decades. Rush Limbaugh used to say, well, the climate change for decades, and also there's too many people on the planet. We're going to climate change, and then there's too many people, we're going to run out of food. None of this ever happened because it was all bullshit. So Rush Limbaugh used to say, well, if these leftists are so concerned and compassionate about the planet, that there's too many people and there's not going to be enough food, then they just need to off themselves. There you go. I just wanted to say that because I thought it was fantastic. I laughed so hard when I heard him say that on the radio. It was just dead on, dead on. All right, stupid motorists. Stupid motorists. Here we go. Let's dive right in.
Of dollars in repairs.
Sorry about that.
3 drivers responsible and millions of dollars in repairs. Now, a King County lawmaker says the drivers responsible should be on the hook. He's even pushing a new law to make it happen.
Our Jason Sloss is live now in Pacific. And Jason, this probably sounds good to the commuters who have had to deal with all the mess there.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be a surprise. Right here at the SR 167 bridge, you could see the damage here. This kind of damage, very costly, takes a long time to fix. And this proposal says drivers should be on the hook for it.
It's not like a regular accident. It's much more serious.
Time to go after drivers who cause costly damage to bridges and overpasses.
Man, look at that.
That's what King County Council Vice Chair Reagan Dunn says, and why he's pushing for a so-called stupid motorist law.
We'll make people think twice before they turn the keys to the ignition.
Before he keeps talking, look, what's going on here? I was like thinking, is he a hologram? What's going on here? Or is this some bad green screen? I don't know, but anyway, here we go.
Of a vehicle that's 15 or 16 feet tall.
Within just the past 2 months or so, 3 major bridge strikes. In August, a truck that hit the White River Bridge on SR 410 between Buckley and Enumclaw with around $4.5 million in repairs, according to WashDOT. The bridge has since reopened. Last month, a truck passing under the SR 167 bridge hit a girder, an estimated $2.5 million in damages. And earlier this month, another truck with an oversized load hit the Bullfrog Road overpass near Cle-Elum, where the overpass had to be demolished. Damage there around $8 million. In a statement, WashDOT tells us the emergency proclamations that Governor Ferguson issued on these 3 bridge strikes allows the state to seek federal reimbursement for the cost of repairs. Any funding received would be used for repairs not covered by the third party's insurance.
Loads. What we don't want is, well, I'm insured. It doesn't matter to me. If I clip something, well, that's the insurance company's problem. We can't think like that.
Dunn says his proposal aims to change liability law statewide.
And you crash into a public structure like a bridge or an overpass, you can't point the finger at anybody else. You're on the hook. You're strictly liable for it, and there'll be damages downstream as a result of it. You've got people that don't have their CDL, the commercial driver's license. So let me be clear. Those companies, those corporations that are employing those individuals who aren't properly licensed, there should be additional liability as well.
Nice.
He says this proposal is going into the county agenda.
And they should go after the companies, all of that, and the driver itself, and stop putting the burden on the insurance companies. I agree.
Pushing for the governor to consider a state law, and he says there's been positive response so far. Live in Pacific, Jason Sloss, Cairo 7 News.
Heck yeah. I mean, that's just craziness. Let me know what you think. Do y'all like this? Stupid motorist law. What a fantastic name! Amazing! I thought this was awesome. I laughed. I'm like, that's one of the best names for a bill I've ever heard. Because it actually says what it is. This is going to go to stupid people. You break these laws, oh, there's the stupid motorist law. We're slamming on you. Boom, right on your forehead. Stupid, big ol' S on your head. And take the L. Now we're going to get into the corruption. Because I think the corruption, it's corrupt that these people who are illegal and these companies and these states who are providing them for them is corruption. It's adding to the illegals doing these things. We've already had several people killed in the last few months with 18-wheelers on our freeways. And now you have stuff like this. And this just isn't now. We're just starting to hear more about it. We're just starting to hear more about it. So let's get into the corruption aspect of it. Illegal migrants use SNAP benefits. And this is what the Republicans have been saying is why the Democrats won't open up the government, because the Republicans are like, no, we have a clean bill and we'll deal with the rest of it later. Let's just get the government open and then we can do this or this or this. This is just given that I think they've hit from day one running that they have found so much corruption in a lot of these states with the SNAP benefits. It's mind-boggling. So, but the Democrats are holding steadfast because they want the subsidies to continue in Obamacare, and they want the SNAP benefits to flow to the illegals, which they claim that they're not getting it. And it's just been lie after lie after lie.
As the government shutdown shows no signs of letting up, a federal judge is giving the administration until tomorrow to explain how it plans to temporarily fund SNAP so that 42 million Americans don't go hungry.
Now we're gonna bring in Andrew Branca in here after this, and then he's gonna explain to you what this tyrannical black robe judge is trying to do and how absurd that it is.
Our next guest says that despite what Democrats say, the USDA cannot be used as a contingency fund. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins joins us now. Brooke,
But isn't that the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, is a judge telling them, okay, wave a magic wand or go use these funds that are for other things. So some of these funds for food is if there's a natural disaster somewhere in America. And then the stores are shut down, there's no power, this kind of stuff. And then these funds are pulled out from a, if you will, a rainy day fund. They get that fund and then boom, it goes to where it's needed, like a hurricane, earthquake, whatever, right? This kind of thing. And then this judge is like, no, get the money, get it out, do it now. It's ridiculous. It's mind-boggling.
great to have you on. I know you're somebody who cares very deeply about families and children. I know you want them to get those benefits. Explain why this judge, in your estimation, is not correct in his orders.
Well, first of all, Rachel, it's so good to be on, and happy Sunday to everyone. Certainly, I was raised by a single mom in a small town. We talk about this quite a bit. The president has been wholly focused on, in spite of the reprehensible behavior of Chuck Schumer and the Democrats, and shutting the government down and working to pay the military, working to keep the farmers and the farm service agencies open. We've been duct taping, I've been saying duct taping and bubble gumming WIC and SNAP, which are the vulnerable populations food programs now for more than a month. The judge came down just last week, I think Friday afternoon actually, and said that in fact we do need to use it's a smaller contingency fund. It won't even cover about half of what November would cost. So we are working and looking at all angles right now. The president has been very clear. He wants us to do everything we can to make sure that we can keep these benefits going. So that's what we're doing right now and over the weekend, especially for our most vulnerable populations, as the Democrats keep shutting things down. It's just crazy.
Yeah, you expect them to get a little bit of pressure. I mean, just Hakeem Jeffries' district alone, 43% of households in his district are dependent on SNAP, and he's the one blocking SNAP from moving forward.
I heard something last night from Andrew Branca. He said that he wants to see the government stay shut down for another 30 days. So I think he was saying something to the effect of a total of like 60 days or whatever it is, because like we're getting close to that. So he's saying another 30 days, whatever, how it has to add up to 60 or whatever it is. That if that happens, the president can just unilaterally start firing all of them. Federal workers. Start firing them. Boom, boom. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. And I was like, whoa. I mean, I learn every day is a learning experience. And I was like, wow. Because somebody had sent in a super chat into his show by saying, wish the Democrats would do this or that to get the ball rolling, get the government back. And even Trump's coming out saying, well, yeah, I don't want people to go hungry. It's the Democrats' fault. They got to do this. But I didn't know that there was a clause, I guess. I guess it's in the Constitution where if it's a certain amount of time, then the president can just start firing these people. I was like, wow, because we all have been seeing across the country with Doge, and soon as President Trump took over, a lot of people have been fired, let go. The stupid climate change committees and all of this stuff has been collecting billions of dollars over years, added up to billions of dollars. It's just a waste of just a Democrat slush fund for these green tree hugger groups. So yeah, keep firing them. Keep making the government smaller and more efficient.
I want you to look at some of these numbers. 42 million Americans are on SNAP, so that's 1 in 8. 73% of SNAP households are at or below poverty level.
Good Lord. 1 in 8 people are on SNAP. That is insane. And I just want to know, what is the stat on that, which they're going to get to the illegals and stuff, but what does it really boil down to with all the illegals and people who don't need to be on it, people who are double dipping? What would that number turn out to be, 1 in 8? Would it end up being like 1 in 1,000 on SNAP once they get rid of the fraud? Inquiring minds want to know, because 1 in 8 people, that's insane. And this is telling me this is massive fraud on a massive historic scale that we've never seen before.
79% of SNAP households include children or seniors or disabled people. And the average household benefit is about $332. Also, Brooke, you've said this before, and I think it's really interesting. You said some of the silver lining is we're getting to look a little bit behind the SNAP program. So we know that 20% of illegals are on SNAP and that 59% of households headed by illegals use SNAP or some other multiple welfare programs. Talk to us about that as well.
Well, a couple of things. There's been a lot of miscommunication out there on the program. But this is one of the first things we did when I walked in the day one of USDA, February 13th, is we sent letters to every governor in America being very clear that no illegal aliens can use SNAP. 0, 0, 0. We asked every state for the first time in history, and this was in February, to send us their data and let us, with Doge and a war room, actually start going through this data to better understand understand how this explosion of SNAP benefits happened under Joe Biden. We increased almost 40% on this program in just a couple of years under the Biden administration. Of course, we know they were trying to buy the election, but that's a conversation for another time. And since we have asked for that data, 29 states have complied. Of course, almost all the red states, a couple of couple blue states too. But in that data, and I haven't talked about this yet publicly, in that data we've studied about $100 billion in spend. We have found thousands and thousands of illegal use of the EBT card. We have been moving people off of SNAP. We've got almost 700,000 people, I think, we've moved off just since the president took office. We've arrested about 118 people. So this has been ongoing. But Rachel, to your point, what this conversation has allowed is a national spotlight on a broken and corrupt program. We found one guy in 6 different states getting a benefit. We found about 5,000 people that are dead who are still getting benefits.
The Democrats have been having dead people vote for a long time. I'm not surprised about that. Dead people collecting benefits, so who's collecting it? Is it one of those things where a family member dies and it doesn't get reported and they keep cashing the checks or something? I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking, what's going on here? And she's saying only 20-some states had sent them the report on who all's on their SNAP benefits. What's going on with these other states? Inquiring minds want to know. What? Either Trump needs to send out an executive order, you need to turn over, or we're not giving you another dime. You turn over your list of who the heck you have on these programs. That you're wanting to give, we're giving you billions of dollars. No, stop it. Stop it. You need to send us this paperwork. And who's all on Obamacare? Figure out all that. I watched the interview with 60 Minutes with Donald Trump. It was okay. I mean, he said a lot of the same things he always says, right? But he was saying, I mean, because Obamacare is law of the land, right? He's basically saying it needs to go away and it needs to be remade. But if he can't do that, is what he was saying, is that they need to fix it. But apparently Obamacare is doing what it's designed to do, and that's to screw us over. I was hearing them talk about it on one of the Sunday shows yesterday, where they were saying, well, even with the subsidies, and it's a big lie by saying it's only going to be, like, you would just pay $50, but then the government's forking out all of this other money, which is your tax dollars. I mean, it's insane. I don't know how the hell this ever passed through SCOTUS, that they dubbed it a tax. I think it needs to be revisited. Either they need to get some really smart attorneys in there and go through Obamacare with a fine-tooth comb and saying we were duped and sold a bill of goods that is garbage, and it's deceitful and it's corrupt.
It's time to drastically reform this program so that we can make sure that those who are truly needy, truly vulnerable, are getting what they need, and the rest of the corruption goes away and we can serve the American taxpayer. So we want to, number one, most important, get the government open, make sure the people that really need this money are going to get it. But guess what? There's a new sheriff in town. His name is Donald Trump, and this program will be reformed. We will hold people accountable, and we will be able to help those who really need it.
And we can make sure that the food that we do give them is even higher quality, because I'm all for that as well. Brooke Rollins,
well, with her saying that little tidbit about the high quality of food, I'm sure y'all have seen all the slews of videos of these women bragging how much money they get to spend at Walmart or at Sam's Warehouse or this kind of stuff. And they spend way more than the average people who have to go to the store who aren't on food stamps. Tend to obviously buy less food and more healthier food and food that lasts, right? I mean, you go and shop, you get your meats for the week, or if you buy bi-weekly, you know what I'm talking about, where you have to budget out your meals and what you're going to do. You look at these SNAP benefactors, and they're bragging, and they're filming it. So we all see what you've been throwing in your cart, and there'd be like 3 carts. They'd spend over $1,000, $1,500 on groceries, and it's all garbage. Every bit of it. All of it. And I saw a stat that was showing the obesity rate of children that are children to SNAP benefactors. And even, look, we've all seen the slew of the obese women on TikTok who get food stamps, and then they're the ones complaining that they're going to go rob stores and this and this and that. There's been a rumor going around the last few days that Walmart and some other stores may close because of the SNAP. The government shut down, these people not getting their benefits, or they're worried about, people going in there robbing because of all the videos on TikTok and things like this, saying they're going to get mines and all of this stuff. Well, fact check on that. Spokesman for Walmart confirmed to Newsweek that those claims are false. It says we will continue to be open for business, the statement said. It's unclear exactly what the social media videos were based on, as they do not point to any reports to back up these claims. Obviously, Walmart has denied that any of the stores are gonna be shut down. So they're saying it is false. And one of the videos claiming that on TikTok got like 500,000 views. There was another guy who did a video. What was his name? I'll show you. Oh, here's the one. Calvin Cavan. He received more than 500,000 views on Wednesday afternoon, claiming that they were all going to shut down. And then the other guy, let's see, views. Another video posted, Uncut Realness. I mean, he got more than 1 million views, and he was saying the similar thing about the Walmart stores closing. So don't get all your information from TikTok. I mean, seriously. I'd say let's go to the Andrew Branca show, and let's hear about the tyrannical, black robe, inferior judges trying to make rule of law from the bench. It's insane, right? It's just stupid. I mean, they do rule of law, but I'm saying they're trying to rule the government and what another branch of government should do or should not do, which is stupid because Congress controls the purse. Congress controls the purse. All right, here we go. I really like this guy. Y'all need to go give him a like.
But there's a second judge, Judge John J. McConnell. He is out of Rhode Island. And he issued an order simply telling Trump, he did this on Saturday, yesterday. He issued an early order saying, no, Trump, you just got to pay for this. You've got to pay for this. You have to keep paying for it. There's no more SNAP money in the budget. In fact, the authority to pay for SNAP at all expired the day before. There's literally no legal authority for anyone to spend money on SNAP. Because who provides that authority? Congress does. And the congressional authority, the authority was already based on a prior continuing resolution to maintain the budget because there hadn't been a real budget for ages. And the continuing resolution expired on Friday. So the legal authority for anyone in government, including the president, much less a judge, to pay for SNAP is ended. There is no legal authority to pay for.
And this is another thing, too. I've learned from watching his show. And you guys, I'm so serious. You need to go watch him. It's very, very educational. These judges that you've been seeing across the country the past few weeks, where Newsom or Spitzer, the thing in Portland, where they kept filing these suits with these district judges to stop Trump from sending in the National Guard, which obviously he wins in Portland because it's in the Constitution. He can do this. He can actually do the Insurrection Act and send in the military. But he hasn't done it yet. Now, he did talk about that in that 60 Minutes interview, if you want to go watch that. I sped watched it. But these judges are all Biden and Obama appointees. These judges who have been doing this. And how about that woman judge last week tried to micromanage Bavino, who is head of the Border Patrol, tries to tell him like she's scolding him like he's a school kid. You got to come into my court at 5:45 every day and give me a report on what you've done all day. And I want to see videos. I want to see what you've done and who you've arrested and blah, 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 blah. Well, her bosses, by the way, that particular judge, her bosses sent her pretty much a cease and desist letter, which Bronca did well, this is how I learned it from him the other night. He did a whole dossier. He did a thing putting up the dockets and stuff and read out what her bosses sent to her. And he explains it a lot better than I can. But basically, they're saying, you just made this shit up. You can't tell them what he can do. You can't micromanage this guy. Plus, she had brought up, well, she was telling him, well, I've seen video from the plaintiffs, which is the journalists who got pepper spray in their eyes, and I've seen video, but she didn't see the other half of the videos. A judge can't. Could you imagine a judge only taking half of a side if there's a defendant and a plaintiff? And she only just looks at one side and goes, wow, there's enough evidence here that you're guilty. I mean, that's basically what happened. I mean, of course, Bavino was, because there was a court transcript where he had to appear to her. He went and appeared to her, and he was gracious to her. He barely spoke, but at the end of the day, her boss is going, no, you can't do this. What are you doing? It was great. I recommend you go and subscribe to his channel. It is free to subscribe. And check him out, and you will learn a lot. And again, these judges were Obama and Biden appointees. And some of these judges have lifetime appointments. And they're far left, and they're just pushing an agenda from the bench, which I am hoping to start seeing that these judges get boom, impeached, and bye-bye, sayonara, bye Felicia. I want to see them impeached for this kind of behavior, because it's not just been one time, it's been several times that they overreach what they're actually able to do.
For snap. And it's remarkable. I love the little cartoon here because it puts a crown on Judge McConnell. All these protests, remember the No Kings protest? What was it, just a weekend ago? No kings, no kings. We can't have kings in America. But this judge is issuing orders as if he were a king. This unelected black-robed tyrannical inferior. Article 3, district court judge, a political branch of government, not authorized to make policy decisions, to allocate funds, to decide what to spend money on. Those are decisions made by the political branches. This judge just decided, you know what? F the law, F the Constitution, F the separation of powers. I'm just going to order it done. I'm going to wave my magic scepter. And the money will just appear.
He is great. He is great. And he gets really passionate, too. And that's where I got that black robe judge, tyrannical, inferior judges. There's this one woman judge that I was just talking about that did this to Bavino. He said she's not even an American-born citizen. He's like, what is going on? Her parents are from Jamaica. She was raised in Canada. She didn't come to the United States until she was 15. He said He said there needs to be laws passed, and I agree with him, that either you need to be second or third generation American to become a lifetime appointed judge. I thought that was fantastic. Fantastic. But yeah, he's like, she's not even an American. It was great.
Like a king. The judicial king, the unelected black-robed tyrannical inferior judge of America. Just orders, make it so. Make it so.
He said, black robe judge, inferior. It's so good.
In fact, doing anything of the sort is illegal. Is illegal. It's not permitted. There is a contingency fund for SNAP benefits, but it's not, the purpose explicitly is not for government shutdowns. It's if we have, for example, a hurricane. A hurricane hits the East Coast of America, wipes out all the supermarkets or jobs or whatever, and suddenly there's a bolus increase in the number of people who need food stamps, who need SNAP. That's what the contingency is for. It's not for policy disagreements. And by the way, if it were expended on this, what if there's only enough in there for 2 to 3 weeks? What if it was used up in the next 2 to 3 weeks? And then a hurricane hits.
Yeah, and then what do? Now, look, I hate to interrupt him, but I don't want to get any copyright strikes for, obviously using his, but so I'm going to have to pause and things like that so that doesn't happen. But again, I want you to go to his channel, subscribe to him, like his videos, and actually learn something.
Or some other natural disaster. What then? What then? And isn't that a policy question of whether to expend that money set aside for a particular purpose on this purpose instead? What?
Yeah, it shouldn't be a judge doing it. It's a policy judgment that Congress could probably go, well, yeah, we got to pull this. I mean, we have fuel reserves as well. So I think Biden did pull out. I think that's what happened. Remember right before the elections? Do you guys remember right before the elections last year? All of a sudden the gas prices dropped. I was like, whoa, too little too late, my guy, because I noticed it. And the first thing that popped in my head, I'm riding down the road to go get gas. And I'm like, whoa, the gas has dropped. Oh, he did this to get votes, to say, oh, everything's okay. But I believe, now you could go look it up, I think he pulled from the reserves to do it. And those reserves are for disasters or an emergency situation. That's what reserves are for. Not just to bring down the costs at the moment because the Biden administration screwed us up and put us in inflation and all of this stuff.
Why does an unelected judge get to make that policy decision?
He doesn't.
These are obviously grotesque violations of the separation of powers. Judges making policy decisions.
Judges making policy decisions from the bench is insane. It's insane, right? I just love how he explains it. Even somebody like me can understand it.
Whoop, hold on a second. I messed up my tabs. Oh, of course. And Judge McConnell, as well, has made his share of anti-Trump rulings. Even worse.
Oh, my God, y'all. This is insane. And this is one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this particular video. And this ties into the SNAP benefits. This is why I have this here. And what he's going to tell you is going to blow your mind. It's just going to blow your mind. It's like the corruption knows no bounds. And how deep does this rabbit hole go?
Even worse, he appears to be thoroughly corrupted. This guy.
Crazy.
Let me pull him back up again. Another image with the crown. I love it. Either he's acting like a king or he's pretending that Trump is king. Is that what he's saying? Trump is king? Because Trump can simply Trump can get a scepter from the Trump store online, Trump.com, order a scepter, wave it, and just have the magic money appear. It's amazing. What's even more amazing is this judge, I don't know if he's corrupt or not, but there's a lot of red flags of corruption. For example, He was nominated. He's out of Rhode Island. He was nominated for his federal judgeship by a Rhode Island senator. Common enough. Senator Whitehouse out of Rhode Island. You think John McConnell, before he was a federal judge, you think he donated money to Senator Whitehouse's campaigns? Yeah, he did. You think he donated? How much you think he donated to Senator Whitehouse? $10,000? That's a lot of money, right? How about $50,000? How about $100,000? How about $200,000? $300,000?
How much did he donate? He's going to keep going, right? Oh, my God.
Keep in mind, John McConnell wants to be nominated to the federal bench, and Senator Whitehouse controls that nomination. You think McConnell gave Senator Whitehouse $300,000? How about $400,000? How about $500,000? How about $600,000? How about $700,000?
My God. $700,000.
You got it. John McConnell paid Senator Whitehouse $700,000 and then got nominated for a federal judgeship. You think John McConnell bought his seat on the federal bench? Does it look?
It looks like it to me, and he should be investigated. The DOJ, the FBI, the mess that they are dealing with is on a scale we've never seen in my lifetime. I have never seen. The corruption has gone so deep. It's so deep. And they need to hire more people they can trust in the Trump administration to deal with this, to get to the bottom of this. Look, I don't mind those kinds of committees, or I don't even want to call them committees, a task force just to look into these judges. How are they getting money? How did they get elected? Especially the ones that were Obama and Biden appointees. Because they're all crooked. And I apologize for having to keep stopping because this is so good, but I don't want to get YouTube or Bronco here, flag me for using his material.
Look like that to you? Kind of looks like that to me.
Yeah.
Then famously, earlier this year, Trump started cutting a lot of spending for NGOs and
Loved it.
various money laundering enterprises of the Democrat Party, cutting billions.
Oh my God. It's insane.
You know where Judge McConnell's wife and adult daughter worked? Well, his wife worked for an NGO. An NGO.
Holy shit.
What the heck was the name of it? I've got it here. Crossroads of Rhode Island. A major provider of, you won't believe it, a major provider of Rhode Island's food stamp program. Their SNAP Employment and Training Network.
So this guy, the impropriety, the view of impropriety that he spends $700,000, he gives this other guy $700,000, and then miraculously he's nominated to become a lifetime judge on a bench. This judge said, his name is John. John makes an order for Trump to, like he said, wave a magic wand and start that SNAP money flowing again. But lo and behold, his wife is a direct recipient for this NGO that she's chairman committee of, that she runs, that hundreds of millions of dollars flow through every year. No, the left and Dems aren't corrupt. No. My God. You guys, you have to admit, this is something we've never seen before. Because the fake news is telling us stuff. Nobody's looking into this, even past Republican presidents. What is happening? Has everybody just turned a blind eye? It seems like it. Now Trump's actually getting in there and cleaning house and getting stuff done and stopping the waste. And what is the cliche? Clean out the swamp.
That's where John McConnell's wife worked. She was on the board. This is an organization that got tens of millions of taxpayer dollars. I think it's a total of 180 million in recent years. And she was on the board getting paid, managing, controlling where that money went. This judge's wife. the wife of Judge John McConnell. You know where his adult daughter works? Well, I should say worked. And she was employed there until a month ago. The Department of Education. Is the Department of Education being negatively impacted by Trump policies? Yeah. Yeah. So is this judge's personal family, his wife, his household income, and his adult daughter and her income, are they being personally affected, negatively affected by Trump policies? SNAP specific Trump policies in some cases? Yeah. The wife was on the board of this NGO for 17 years. 17
Damn.
years. That's a career. Remains the chair of the board, the chair emeritus of the board of this NGO that's received, I believe, almost $200 million in taxpayer money laundered through that NGO.
That's a conflict of interest for him. But yet he's saying Trump, he has an order up for Trump to go and just wave a magic wand and get this money. He's going to go over that in just a moment. But his daughter worked for the Board of Education, but hey, Doge went in there and started cleaning house. Guys, this is why the left has just been on steroids, angry, and the vitriol towards the Trump administration, because he's taking away all of this money. Every damn one of them need to be investigated. I don't care how long it takes. Every damn one of them. All those senators, House of Representatives. How the hell is Johnson, the mayor in Chicago, how is he a multi-millionaire being a damn mayor? Did he just get good advice on investments? Inquiring minds want to know. How are these, and look, Pelosi, I know Pelosi's husband has real estate, vineyards and stuff like that, but let's just say her income alone. Take them all individually. How did they become multi-millionaires being a career politicians? It's insane to me. And I want to see something done about it. Now, if somebody legitimately become a millionaire and they're representing a state and everything's legit, then I guess that's fine. Obviously, if they've done everything legit. But do they have insider trading knowledge? Are they doing backroom deals with other companies and then they get some kind of kickback? What's going on here? How are these people just so stinking wealthy? It's beyond comprehension. And I'd like to see the Board of Education demolished. I'd like to see it go away and then because that's what Trump wants to do. Kind of like what he did with abortion. They got it to go away. Well, the SCOTUS voted on it, got it to go away, and then it went down to the states, and each state can vote if they want it or not. I think the states should be in control of their own education. We don't need the Board of Education. I think it's a waste of money, and look what they've done with the education system. Our kids are stupid. They're dumb. You don't need me to tell you. Just look at TikTok. Just talk to young people. When you see the guy walking on the street with a microphone asking these college people questions, it's just so brain rot. It's beyond comprehension. Do away with the Board of Education.
And yet this judge feels it's totally appropriate in him to be making rulings on Trump's money spending policies, SNAP policies, Department of Education policies, even though he has clear and obvious personal conflicts at play here.
It's crazy.
His immediate family members, wife and adult daughter, are being negatively impacted by these Trump policies he's making rulings on. Under the Federal Code of Judicial Conduct, he should be recusing himself. And his failure to abide by that code is a failure to serve during good behavior, which is a requirement under Article 3 of the Constitution for federal judges to keep their seats.
And I want to know all those millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars that came in through his wife's his organization for SNAP benefits. Is she getting paid out of that money? Does that money also cover staff or the office that they have? This kind of crap. What is this? should we just do away with these little NGO corporations or whatever they are to funnel money through? And I'm pretty sure it's the Democrats created them. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm just going out on a limb here. Why do we need them to funnel SNAP benefits through? Shouldn't it be through the state, whether it's Tennessee or whatever state it is, that, okay, they got X amount of people, so we need X amount of extra funds from the federal government to help with our poor and indigent population? Why do you have to have these little side things that this money's getting channeled through? I don't know. I don't understand it. So if I'm wrong, let me know, because I have no idea. I'm just thinking, what would be the smart way to funnel money from the federal government to your state, and then they distribute it to whoever needs it in their state, right? So then you have one source to go to where the government can go, okay, I need to see your data because you're asking for a little bit of money, a little bit of extra money. Who's all on this? Like that woman said in that other video we saw. She's all like, yeah, we asked every state to give us their data on who's all on these SNAP programs. So each state does have their data. Why have these states not controlled it? What? Trump had to come along and go, okay, you failed. You're spending too much money. Why are you having to tell these people this? Shit. We're electing these people to represent our state and to control the money in a proper way. What the hell's going on? I have all kinds of questions. This is crazy. You got millions upon hundreds of millions of dollars that add up to billions over a few years of wasteful money. Stop with all these little side projects that the left has created, and have, maybe each state needs to have a department. And that department deals right with the government directly, and then with the state, with all the data coming in to who's going to get these benefits, and break it down city by city, because I think that would be simpler, right? Break it down city by city. So each city's like, okay, we have this X number of people who are applying. So in that one city, the city has a couple of people that would go out and investigate each one of these. That might take you a minute to get it, but each one of them has to be investigated thoroughly, that they're legal, and are they able-bodied? Can they work? Why are you applying for these benefits? 1 in 8 people, 1 in 8 Americans are on food stamps is insane, because it's just run amok. It's run amok.
This guy has done everything you could possibly want to warrant impeachment and removal from the bench.
Here.
Unbelievable. $180 million to this Crossroads organization, for whom his wife is the chair of the board, chair emeritus of the board.
She needs to be investigated.
The same judge had ordered, when Trump did his cutbacks earlier in the year, he ordered Trump, no, you got to spend all that money. You're not allowed to stop spending money, President Trump. The elected Article 2 executive branch president of the United States, you're not allowed to stop spending money. I'm ordering you to continue spending the money that flows by the scores of millions of dollars through my wife's NGO. That got overturned on appeal.
It's laughable that this guy has the audacity to tell the president he has to keep the faucet on, keep it flowing, because we want more money.
Again, another lawless order from these judges against Trump, serving their own financial interest after paying $700,000 to be raised to the federal bench in the first place.
Oh my God, this is insane.
So let's take a look at McConnell's initial order issued on a Saturday morning. By the way, you think it's normal for federal courts to be issuing orders on Saturday mornings? You think these judges are normally in the office on Saturdays? I suggest they're not. Oh, I do see that we have some super chats. So let me do a little housekeeping before I pull up that order. First of all, you are all here for this. Corrupt Judge King, Judge McConnell exposed for the POS that he is. And of course, this is open access. Everyone on the internet is welcome here. You're all welcome here to be a member of the Andrew Branca Show community. After we get through McConnell's orders, however, we have some additional legal analysis and popular analysis we'll be doing of all this. We'll be hearing from some people on the street. I'll be adding my own insights, but that will be happening in the bonus part of the show. We transition immediately from this open access show to the bonus part of the show, but the bonus part of the show, Founding Fathers, not what you think it stands for, and it's actually you anything, makes
This product has been banned.
Kind of zipping through. Y'all can go check out his show if you want to become a
Introducing
member. He's saying it's just $16 a day. I guess it's $5 a month, and you can become a member. So when he puts on these he does a lot of live almost every day. He's been going live. And then he'll break it up, like it'll be a 3-hour show, and then he'll break it up into segments, and then you can go watch a segment of it at a time at your leisure. And then he also has, if you remember, he does bonus shows, so he goes over other stuff. No, I am not a member, but if you sit in and watch one of his live shows, some people are very generous, and they'll buy 20 memberships. And then what YouTube does is just automatically pick somebody that's in the chat, boom, give them a free membership for a month. So that's kind of cool. So that's a little heads up. So maybe be active in the chat. So when somebody generous comes along and starts buying a bunch of memberships from him, then you may be picked so you could go and do that. And I believe that's for every YouTube channel, by the way.
We got notification of that. You should all thank Phil. Thank you, Phil. That's amazing. 11 Bravo Crunchy, $5. Thank you, man. Says, these Dems can get SNAP fully funded today if they want to. Just tell 5 little-known Dem senators to cross the aisle.
Listen to this.
And vote for the continuing resolution. Do not do that.
Now, I brought this up earlier. I kind of forgot it was in this segment that we're watching, but he's going to tell you what I just told you. He'll explain it a lot more articulate than me, obviously, about he doesn't want to see the government reopen. And let's hear why he says this.
I don't want the shutdown to end for at least another 29 days. I want to wake up on the morning of December 1st and the shutdown is still in effect. Why? Because then we're past the 60-day window after the start of the shutdown in which Trump is still constrained from summarily firing federal employees. December 1st, Russ Vought, director of the Office of Management and Budget, can start firing federal employees by the hundreds of thousands. Like that.
Boom.
I want to wake up December 1st to that party, which means we have to have the shutdown has to stay in effect for another 29 days. So my nightmare right now is that 5 Democrats will cross the aisle and vote for the continuing resolution. I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. We have to make it another 29 days.
So we need Christmas early December morning.
I want Armageddon on December 1st for federal employment. Citizen E22, $10. Thank you so much. That gets you 2 ka-chings. Says, why didn't Republican judges block all of Biden's BS orders? I don't know. I mean, some of them were blocked. His arbitrary effort to just wave away, have the taxpayer assume everyone's student debt, that was blocked.
That was dumb.
But of course, it was nothing on this scale because the right and left judges conduct themselves differently. The conservative judges tend to restrict themselves to their actual legal authority, and the left doesn't care. The left only cares about political power, and the ends justifies the means. And if all they can do is know they're going to get reversed, but slow down the Trump train, then they're pursuing their mission as far as they're concerned.
So I think, I think they already know it's going to get, shut down. But like they're saying, they're just stalling. And I think Biden was doing it for votes. Oh, we're gonna all these people. Plus, a lot of these college students are taking stupid ass courses, right? And they get out of college and they can't get a job because they took some dumbass DEI shit or arts and science crap or whatever, Greenpeace crap. Like, what? How did they had to have got loans? Because man, I know if my kid was going to go do something like that, I was like, I'm not paying for that. you're going to have to pay for that. You're going to have to get a loan. But I think he did it for votes, and that all these young people are like, yay, because they've got all this student debt, and it's just going to be wiped away with a magic wand. But there's no such thing as a free lunch, and we all know this. The taxpayers would have to pay for it, and then the judges said, no, you can't do that. It got overturned.
That's why. They're just intrinsically dishonest. I mean, they're progressive fascists. This is what you get. This is their nature. So we ought not expect anything else from them.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that, man. I really appreciate it. So let's get back to Judge McConnell's first order issued Saturday morning. Both his orders were issued Saturday, by the way. It's very funny. Very funny. Because after the first one, Trump made a post on Truth Social that kind of tweaked the judge. He didn't like it. So he immediately issued another order. That wasn't loaded up to the docket until this morning, but it was actually issued yesterday after Trump's Truth Social post. All right, let's pull this over. It's not very long.
So he did this live stream yesterday on Sunday.
Long, 7 pages. And the first page is this kind of nonsense. Let's see what Judge McConnell has to say. King McConnell. The defendants in their emergency motion for a written order for TRO say defendants are expeditiously attempting to comply. Oh, wait a second. Is this the wrong one? That's the wrong one. That's the second one. All right. So the docket, of course, is the official proceedings in the court. Oh, it's so tiny, huh? Let's see if I can make it bigger. Yeah, okay, that's better. So all this is starting October 30th, right, which was Thursday. So it's so funny to me to see the federal courts move at this kind of pace, because this is not normal. Like civil court cases normally take months or years to work their way through the federal courts. But so a complaint is filed on Monday, cost them $405. That's how much it costs to frustrate the Article 2 executive power of the United States, apparently. $405, all these plaintiffs.
That's all it costs, $450. I love the way he laughs, by the way.
Saying, we want our SNAP money. We want our SNAP money. Same day, Thursday. Let's see. Motion for a TRO and a preliminary stay. They want their SNAP money. So stuff is happening on Thursday. Lots of motions for lawyers to appear from out of the jurisdiction. That's what this means. Every time you see this pro hac vici, that means that they don't normally work in that district. These are all left-wing lawyers jumping into the arena. They have to ask permission to appear pro hac vici. Look at all of them. Look at all these left-wing lawyers. They're always available. So on Thursday, he issues a notice of a hearing. He's going to have a hearing on Thursday about this, on Friday about this temporary restraining order. Friday comes and they have the hearing. And let's see. Then all this stuff, because you see there's no documents linked here, all this stuff is
verbal,
like oral statements that are then just kind of documented here in the record. And so on Friday, he does an oral order granting the motion for the TRO for the reasons stated on the record during the oral hearing. Here's the thing about a TRO, folks. A TRO, or a preliminary injunction, is required to be in writing. It's required to be.
It's insane. It's insane. And again, I'm sorry, I have to pause this but it's like they know this. These judges, they know this. It's unbelievable.
In writing. Why? Because when you write stuff down, it's very specific. And anyone who's being restrained by a TRO or enjoined by a preliminary injunction has a right to know, because they're at risk of being held in contempt if they violate the TRO preliminary injunction. So they're entitled to know with specificity.
Yeah, like what can I do and what can't I do? What am I? Yeah, I need to know. Can I get near this person? 500 feet, or whatever the TRO is, right?
What they're prohibited from doing, and so what they're still allowed to do.
Yeah.
You can't have an ambiguous TRO or preliminary injunction. It's simply unlawful. And when judges speak, when anyone speaks, we often speak, and there's ambiguity, or how people heard it, or how they interpret it, can vary. So it's required that
That is
TROs
true.
and preliminary injunctions be put in writing so that everyone understands exactly what's allowed and what's not allowed. And the the judge didn't do that. He just said, all right, my oral TRO is this thing. I just want you to pay. And of course, the White House is like, pay. What do you mean pay? We don't have the money. We don't have the legal authorization.
What?
Effective tomorrow, November 1st. This is Friday, October 31st. You're giving us this oral order. We don't have the money. How are we supposed to pay? And we don't really understand. You're not documenting in writing what it is we're supposed to do or not do.
I think they already know it too. They're just doing it to be a pain in the ass and slow the Trump train.
So Trump responds, Trump's lawyers respond reasonably enough with this. They say, Your Honor, you know, a real federal judge would have put this in writing. So, defendant, that's Trump, emergency motion under Rule 65 to reduce this. Rule 65 governs TROs and preliminary injunctions. To reduce the court's oral temporary restraining order to writing. Could you make it specific, please? That's what a real judge does, Your Honor. Maybe you don't know this, since apparently you paid $700,000 for your judgeship.
Burn.
And
was
then
a good
Trump
burn.
did his Truth Social thing,
This is good.
which I know I have here. Hold on. To writing, they said, which they're completely entitled to do. And then Trump posted this on Truth Social.
This was good.
Our government lawyers do not think that we, the Article 2 executive branch, have the legal authority to pay SNAP with certain monies we have available. And now two courts, Indira Telwani and John McConnell, have issued conflicting opinions on what we can and cannot do. I do not want Americans to go hungry just because the radical Democrats, the Schumer shutdown, refuse to do the right thing and reopen the government. Therefore, I've instructed our lawyers to ask the court to clarify how we can legally fund SNAP as soon as possible. We're happy to do it, Your Honors, but you got to explain to us how you think that can be done. It's already delayed enough due to Democrats keeping the government closed through the monthly payment date. And even if we get immediate guidance, it will unfortunately be delayed while states get the money out. If we are given the appropriate legal direction by the court, it will be my honor to provide the funding, just like I did with military and law enforcement pay. The Democrats should quit this charade where they hurt people for their own political reasons and immediately reopen the government. If you use SNAP benefits, call the Senate Democrats and tell them to reopen the government. Now, here is crying Chuck Schumer's office number, 202-224-6542. What a brilliant play by Trump.
Now, this was done yesterday, and I haven't gone to look because I was doing my own show prep. But to follow up on, I want to know how many phone calls he gets. Trump posted this on X. Trump is the master king of troll. And he said, here is crying Chuck Schumer's office number. Call it. If you receive SNAP benefits and you want the government reopened. Oh, man. That's brilliant. Oh, my God. That's one of the funniest things I've seen. Damn. The Trump troll king. Wow.
Because it just puts the burden right back on the Democrats. The judge tried to put the burden on Trump. Just come up with the money. Just pay it, Trump. And Trump was like, you got to explain to me, Your Honor, how you think I could be legally entitled to pay these monies. I don't control the money. Congress controls the money.
So he wants troll to troll. Yeah, troll. Trump troll. He wants Trump to break the law or make up laws, but he says Trump's not a king. Trump does not have the strings to the money purse. It's Congress. It's so funny.
Congress has to agree that money can be spent, and they have not done that. They have not done that. So that resulted in the second judicial order, which is the one I started a moment before. So let me get that now. Whoops. And so here we have to keep in mind the judge here is responding both to the request for a written TRO instead of this nonsense oral TRO that he'd initially expected
he
Trump
says, here
to,
it is.
I don't know, violate the Constitution over. And also Trump's social media post, Truth Social post, where Trump is like, well, you tell me how to do it, Your Honor.
That probably pissed him off. So good.
So the defendants have stated that while they're expeditiously attempting to comply with the court's order, while considering whether any emergency relief is required, they would like clarity as to the court's ruling. And so they ask that it be in writing. Motion for a written order. Also, the judge notes, that's one thing the judge is responding to. Also, the second thing the judge is responding to, the President of the United States stated Friday evening, I do not want Americans to go hungry. I asked the court to clarify how we can legally fund SNAP as soon as possible, ... Look at all the ellipses, because the judge is taking out all the digs against the Democrats. As soon as possible, if we are given the appropriate legal direction by the court, it will be my honor to provide the funding. Look at the snark in this judge's order. So, Judge John McConnell writes, so here's the order, and here's the legal direction from the court. Having reviewed the complaint, the motion, the memorandum of law, declarations, evidence in support of the motion, I've done all the things a judge is supposed to do, as well as the papers filed to this motion. And after conducting a hearing, under the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 65, and for good cause shown, the court finds the plaintiffs, the people demanding the SNAP money continue somehow, satisfied the requirements for a TRO because they're likely to succeed on the merits, they'll be irreparably harmed, and the public interest, blah, 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 blah.
So the plaintiffs, he's speaking for the plaintiffs of America who receive SNAP benefits. And he's ordering Trump to do something about it. It's so stupid. I don't know if this is a ploy by all these judges across America and all the fake media news is to keep blaming Trump for the shutdown. You're blaming Trump for the SNAP program, that Trump has money and he can do this. I saw somebody did a video going, look, Trump's at a party and having dinner and whatever they're doing, and other people are starving to death. So it's a ploy. I think it's a joint ploy by the left, who they're all in bed with each other. I think they all communicate. They all know what their marching orders are, and that's to smear Trump, blame everything on Trump, and then you have young minds full of mush that the liberals ruling the Board of Education knows they have two or three generations of dumbass people who are going to believe it hook, line, and sinker. Right? It's a conspiracy. But it's playing out right in front of our faces. What do you see on the left on the news? It's Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault. Everything is Trump's fault. Even if he doesn't have the executive powers to do certain things, it's Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault. Then they're saying, well, oh no, Trump can't bring in the military, or Trump can't deploy the militia. I like calling them the militia. They were originally called that, by the way, and then it was changed to National Guard. So Trump can't do this, but it turns out, yes, he can. So yeah, he can do that, but then these other things that these judges are saying, he can do this, and Trump is really legitimately can't. I don't know why. It's just making me laugh that these people are just so out of touch. And I think it's all done by design, by the way.
All the four factors for a TRO. It's therefore ordered. In the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2024, Congress appropriated $122 billion for supplemental nutritional assistance SNAP, and they directed that $3 billion of that remain available through September 30th, 2026, and placed in reserve as may become necessary to carry out program operations in an emergency. Now, he's leaving out, of course, the emergency this is for is not a government shutdown. That's an emergency created by Congress and maintained by Congress. It's for
a disaster.
things like environmental disasters, natural disasters, hurricanes. Congress maintained those funds, meaning that an additional $3 billion was put aside in a reserve available through September 30th, 2027. Because of the lack of appropriations for this fiscal year, the shutdown, use of those contingency funds has now become required in the judgment of this Judge McConnell, because available funding is necessary to carry out program operations.
Okay, because this judge wants that money flowing back through his wife's organization. Now keep that in mind while he's reading that. That's why I'm laughing. I mean, this is serious shit, though, but it's like, damn, bro. You got Trump in office with Doge and some very smart people. You are going to be sought out. I mean, Bronca here has called you out on your bullshit with your own daughter working for the Board of Education, which no more. She got the boot because of cleaning house. And now your wife, 17 years at that NGO, billions of dollars flowing through. Good God, how much money has she gotten from taxpayer money? And then you didn't recuse yourself? That there's a conflict of interest? That you've put up this order for Trump to have the money flow? It's almost comical. Like, you cannot make this stuff up. And they need to be investigated.
There's no question that the congressionally approved contingency funds must be used now because of the shutdown. Again, there is a question. This is just the judge's opinion. The judge is deciding how federal money is supposed to be spent. First, he blocked Trump's attempts to not spend money, and now he's ordering Trump to spend this money.
Oh, because he didn't want him spending money on something else that he didn't want. Maybe it wasn't a libtard slush fund. No, you can't spend your money on that. But you need to send money to my wife's organization. Get that SNAP going. Oh, my God.
Money as well.
It's hilarious.
In fact, the president during his first term issued guidance indicating these contingency funds are available if SNAP funds lapse due to government shutdown. Because the contingency funds, even if Trump spends them, it's only a small fraction of the monthly SNAP expenditure, do not equal the total amount necessary to make November SNAP benefit payments. The government has posited that implementing a partial allotment for the entire country would be exceedingly difficult, highly disruptive, and delayed, requiring a reworking of every state system to recognize and set forward a reduced benefit. But this judge says you're not allowed to reduce the benefit. Congress created SNAP as an entitlement. Assistance under this program shall be furnished. Shall be.
That means you better do it.
Use 100%
You
grass-fed
better
beef.
do it. What it shall be. Oh my
Here are
God.
5 reasons I replaced.
Like it's a right or something?
Therefore, to
SNAP?
ensure the quick, orderly, and efficient implementation of the court's order to fulfill the statute designation of SNAP as an entitlement, and to alleviate the irreparable harm that the court found exists without timely payment of SNAP benefits, the government should, within its discretion, find the additional funds necessary to fully fund the November SNAP payments. The government, the federal government, the Trump administration should, within its discretion, just find the money. Just show me the money, Trump. Show me the money. And he says, well, funds available.
Wait a minute. What was that Spinal Tap song when they had the flashback when they were a band in the 60s? Like, give me some money. If you haven't watched Spinal Tap, I highly recommend it. The original one.
Available for this. There's money here. The Agricultural Adjustment Act of 1935. There's money there. Of course, all these monies in different places are there for different purposes. Different purposes. If the government chooses to make a full payment, it must do so by the end of the day on Monday. That's tomorrow. If the government does want to use its discretion to use
So wait a minute. So up here, he's just saying, get the money from any of these places. Just so SNAP can flow? What the hell? That's stupid. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I find this very amusing that this judge just put all that shit in there. Like Trump to just go pull funds out of... What? Is he going to go pull out the military budget or the... what I say earlier, like fuel storage? Go get the money out of that. Sell some stuff to another country. What are you doing? What?
funds available to make a full SNAP payment for SNAP benefits for November, it must expeditiously resolve the administrative and clerical burdens it described in its papers. So all these real world, the executive branch things that executive branches have to deal with, that judges, unelected black robe tyrannical, inferior district trial court judges, they don't do any of this. This judge has zero competence. Zero competence or expertise in managing any administrative or clerical burdens. He just says, you have to solve it. I'm ordering you to make this possible. Who's the king here exactly? Is it Trump? Is the king Trump, or is the king the judge who has the power, the self-declared power, to wave a judicial scepter and simply order Trump to do things?
Wow.
Isn't the king the one who issues the orders, the summary orders? The government will report to this court on or before noon on Monday what it will do to comply with our kingly royal order.
Our kingly royal order.
In summary, the government must make full SNAP payments no later than Monday, tomorrow. If they choose to use their discretion and not use other funds in addition to the contingency funds, and they must make a partial payment of the total amount, they must do this no later than Wednesday. So one interesting thing about this is this was not put on the docket until, do I still have the docket pulled up? It was not put on the docket until this morning. I do. Second. So here's the docket. So
that was a judge that he had talked about on another, like he split this up. So if you'd watch the whole live broadcast in entirety, it's like 2 or 3 hours long.
October 31st was Friday.
So that picture of that judge was another black robe, tyrannical. I love it when he goes off on these judges. Tyrannical, unfit judges. And she was one of them.
I didn't see it go up until yesterday. But this order was issued after Trump's social media post. It went up last night, Saturday night. Yeah, last night. That's what it was. Trump's social media post was on Friday. So this was actually written on Friday night, and then it was posted up on Saturday morning. This judge, if this order has a frantic tone from the judge, just figure it out, just make it happen, exercise my will. There you know. That's why the imperial judiciary, the tyrannical judiciary of the United States of America.
Isn't that awesome? That was just awesome. Where is the the Trump the Trump tweet was just epic. Let's see if I can find it. The Trump tweet. Oh man. At the bottom. Let's see. Can I get the bottom in there? Here we go. Reopen the government. If you use SNAP benefits, call the senator, Democrats, and tell them to reopen the government. Now, here is crying Chuck Schumer's office number. Wow, that was a good laugh for me today. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me in discovering the corruption from the left, the SNAP program, CDL licenses from all these cities like Gavin Newsom's California that are giving these people from these sanctuary cities these licenses that are killing us on the freeways and destroying our bridges. And we didn't get to Don Lemon. I might have to do that in another video, but you know what I'll do though is I will put a link in the description for this so you guys can go watch it. Don Lemon. I said Lennon. Don Lemon talking to these people, and this woman he's talking to here, she migrated here, and he's arguing with her basically because she's saying no, it's illegal to cross the border. He's like, no, there's different levels. Well, yeah, there is. I think the first time if you get caught crossing, it's like a, I don't know if it's a misdemeanor, and then they give you the boot back, and then if you get caught again, then it's that. But it's still illegal. A misdemeanor, it's illegal. It's hilarious. But anyway, I'll put these links in the description, and you can watch Don Lemon. And this is Nate the Lawyer I got this from. I like looking at some of Nate the Lawyer's content. I will put this link, and you can go watch Nate the Lawyer, and be sure to like and subscribe. And also Bronca's show. Excellent show. Excellent. He is so good, y'all. Y'all could just tell. Now, I had this going a little fast, so it wasn't at regular speed because this show was an hour long, but we've gone a little long in this one, so I sped it up. So if you go watch him, obviously have it on normal speed if you like to sit back, have your coffee or tea, and listen to him and learn about the law. And that's what it's all about. Every day is a learning experience. No matter how old you are, the learning never stops.